Hey y'all, thank you so much for joining us for another Two Raw for TV exclusive debate. This one is going to be off the chain. This one right here is going to be so serious. Listen, I got Kimani Brave Horse, right? Kimani Brave Horse is very outspoken when it comes to Trump, right? On for the pro Trump, right? I have Miko Turtle. Miko Turtle is also very outspoken when it comes to Trump, but completely against it, right? I got Ross Isis. Ross Isis is also very outspoken when it comes to Donald Trump, right? Um, but he's pro Trump, and I also got Crumb from Crumb TV, right? Crumb is actually not for Trump, so this is going to be an evenly yoked debate. I have four strong, unapologetic black men, right? That's going to weigh on this and let us know, is Donald Trump actually good or not good for the black community as a whole, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to move right into it, and if we can kind of get everybody on here. Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Thanks. So if we could get everybody to introduce themselves, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with Crumb.
Peace and love, family. I am your humble brother, Crumb. I go by the moniker The Master Student. Of course, you can find me on 2rawfortv.tv, but you can also find me on, well, not on YouTube. I call that JuTube. They kicked me off. Uh, but you can find me on Facebook, but I still call it Fake Book because, I'm just kind of critical. And I'm also on Instagram. I'm from the old school. We don't do followers. Nobody's a follower. We're going in the same direction. But if you do hit the follow button, we call that giving me a Grammy. So catch me on Instagram. Give me a Grammy. Peace.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, so I'm sorry. I kind of butchered that a little bit because along with your introduction, I wanted you to let us know we just had right a a, a, a massacre, right? A complete bombing on Christmas Day, right, on the continent. Does that change, or how does that affect at all your opinion on whether Donald Trump is good or bad for the black community?
My apologies. You said there was a bombing on Christmas Day.
Yes, sorry, Nigeria got bombed. Yes.
Oh! I thought you said something in America. I'm like, whoa! I didn't know
Oh
America
no,
had a bombing.
yeah, Nigeria. hmm Does that change anything on the way you feel about this debate today?
I mean, not no. For me personally, no. It doesn't change anything. I think it only strengthens my point that you know Donald Trump is, in terms of Nigeria, he's pandering to a certain group of people by attacking a smaller country that that's already been taken over. And if I had to guess, he's only trying to scare um, Ibrahim Traore, which is directly north of Nigeria, in order to gain a stronger vantage point to where he can break up anything that looks like black unity.
Thank you for that. And with that, we'll move to Ross Isis.
All right.
Tell me, please, how can we find you? How can we keep up with you and your views on whether Donald Trump is good or bad for the community, and whether the new events that just happened Christmas Day changed anything for you?
Oh, truly. Ross Isis, locally located in the historical west end of Atlanta. Vegan Dream Donuts is the location and the actual occupation. We make donuts. I'm actually the donut man, you know. And my mission really is to like bring upliftment to our community. We have a historical area called the West End of Atlanta, which has already been black owned for dang near 2 centuries now. You know, but the thing about it is we just have to see about these things that's granted to us by this man. He got a thing called opportunity zone, and me being a business owner for the first 4 years of his presidency, I was able to see the benefits of those things with tax cuts, actually, business perks. They had a thing called loans that was going on, PPP loans. The most money was ever put on the street was put on the street through this president, Donald J. Trump. So to me, I see nothing but great opportunity for black people who want to work. You know what I'm saying? But those who don't want to work, I can see it gonna get kind of hard for them. But that's where I'm at the moment. We can go into it a little later.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, Miko Turtle, the big-headed alchemist. Same question to you, sir.
Sir, peace to the fam. Miko Turtle, the Big Headed Alchemist. Y'all can catch me on Atlantis Indigenous Radio every Thursday, 9 p.m. to Raw for TV.tv, the host of that. And I am an alchemist. We have various different trades that I have, blacksmithing being one. And we working on as far as the indigenous trade union too, coming soon. Um, and you can catch me on Instagram at T the Big Headed Alchemist, spelled like you see on the screen if it's on there, but it's DABIGHEADALKEMIST on Instagram, as well as Two Off of TD, Miko Turtle, the Big Headed Alchemist, spelled the same way. Um, and my perspective on Trump is he's a colonizer and a piece of shit. And just like all of the rest of U.S. Presidents, the U.S. is a colonial corporation created to keep the indigenous peoples around the world in a slavery or an oppressive state. So of course, y'all already know from any of y'all that followed me the last discussion, I'm team indigenous, so we never siding with no colonizer just because they possibly spread a little breadcrumbs to our people. Nah, we not with that. And as far as the events that happen in Nigeria, I would agree with Crumb said. They do not like the AES. I told y'all that's one of the most popping things. I would say the most popping thing in on the continent of Al Keelan or Africa as we know it today. So they are doing everything in a power to stop that. You know, three chiefs coming together to create their own and empower their people in any type of way they can. They don't like that. No act of empowerment for original people, especially done by original men, do they like. So they're gonna always attempt to do different things to destabilize that. So I just see that as a attack on the AES.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now I know Kimani Brave Horse, might be having some internet troubles. I don't know. Can you hear me? If you are, your mic is muted. Can you see if you can chime in? We lost him. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and start off, right? I have 4 subjects that we want to talk about today, and with them being the impact on the black family structure first and foremost, right? Because like I said, we are on social media, but you guys on social media, you're not going to see this whole debate. You need to come on over to TwoRofferTV.tv to see all of the questions and all the answers. You will get the first round of question right here on social media, wherever whatever platform you're watching on. So question, I'm going to pick on Ras Isis first. And I'm going to ask Ras Isis, when it comes to the impact on the black family structure, did Trump's policies, now when I say Trump, right, I'm talking about Trump, I'm talking about his policies, and I'm talking about his cabinet all in one, right? So did Trump's policies strengthen or weaken the black family stability in 2-parent households?
Woo, man, listen. Woo, what a whirlwind. What a whirlwind, because the question you're asking is like the whirlwind people forgot. Like, I tell people first off, what they need to do is go black. You know, I like to go black, black in time, because people forget they black still. Get caught up in a white man time. But differently though, go black. Go black in your files. Go black to 2016. Look at 2016. Look at your bank book. Look at your records. Look at the money you was making from 2016 to 2020. And you tell me, you come and talk to me, because again, people don't like to go back. They like get caught up in the foolishness and forget what actually happened. But during 2016, it was with most money flowing on the streets. You had things called PPP loans. You had tax cuts for businesses. You had people sitting home doing absolutely nothing, getting $800 a month, a week, not even a month, a week, right? You had the rise of food stamps to extreme. Forget that. Forget that. You actually had so much money flowing in people's pocket. People were getting these loans out of nowhere, right? Money was flowing. They were having opportunities. Now, so you could have used that money and got an opportunity. Now, a lot of people got that money and wasted it. We know that. We've seen that. We've seen the results of that. But we can also see the results of what happened. They said in the time of that time when he was president, there became over 177 millionaires, black millionaires, right here in Atlanta that came out during that time. I didn't see that happening right now. But that's what happened. Not to mention the amount of money he put into HBCUs. He just dropped another $500 million in there again. No one's talking about it. No one's mentioned it. Like the money that he gives us to our people don't matter. But we constantly get caught up into what the media is telling them, that he's a racist, he's this, he's that. But the impact on our community was absolutely good. Like I said, we had a thing called opportunity zones. Right here in the West End is an opportunity zone. So if you have a business, you have an opportunity to get your taxes cut. You have an opportunity to get loans and business breaks. These things were good for black people who are business minded in construction. I see most black people out there talking about they entrepreneurs, and I can't see what they entrepreneuring. I'm still trying to figure out what they entrepreneuring. I can't figure it out. I'm still baffled. There's a point that we got so many entrepreneurs, but they ain't entrepreneuring nothing.
Okay,
You understand?
thank you very much. And that's your time. Now,
Okay.
out of Crumb and Miko Turtle, which one of you guys would like to rebuttal that?
I
You'll take it?
review.
Okay.
Sure, yeah, I'll deal with it. What Ross was speaking to was almost even a straw man response, because none of those things were exclusively for black people, and that's been the problem with government policy. Government policy, you're going to see where they set in place policy exclusively for a protected group of people: LGBT, Israel. Um, even with Biden, you saw that the Asians. That this is across the board on both sides. When we say, "What are you doing for Black people?" we don't want this sweep of, "Oh, well, we're going to take care of minorities. Oh, we're going to take in." This is the same thing with Kamala. I'm not doing anything for Black people. I'm doing something for all Americans, and this is how you dodge the hijack. It's called benign neglect. You can Google this. What they do is they will purposely avoid doing anything for Black people, and this has been in place since the 70s. So now, when you're dealing with Donald Trump and how he hurts the Black family, what he has done is promoted rhetoric that. I'm sorry, not the rhetoric. I don't want to focus too much on the rhetoric. There's been a lack of investment for fathers, families, and marriages. We know that after the assassination of JFK, Lyndon Baines Johnson incorporated the Great Society, which promoted the welfare programs and the things that got Black fathers out of the homes, which America has not accounted or atoned for. The issue is that Donald Trump being good for Black people, before we start the healing, you're going to have to fix the mistakes you've already made to tear us down. And not only him, but nobody in government has taken accountability for destroying our families, creating these programs that promote division amongst our people. So ultimately, my issue is that not only has he not done anything, he's maintained the status quo. One more, and then I'll yield. Harsh and unfair policing. Donald Trump has said that he was going to get he was going to implement it's called something immunity for cops, where no matter what they do, no matter how savage they are, no matter how wrong they are, it's not diplomatic immunity, it's something to that effect. But he was going to incorporate that for all cops, no matter how guilty they were. And we already know that these 3-strike rules and everything like that are disproportionately affecting Black people, and in particular Black males, and these are the fathers of our communities. And once you take down the father of the community, then the community therefore is done. So that's my stance on why Donald Trump is not good for Black families, and my response to Ross in terms of benign neglect.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that response. And I'm going to pick on the Chief. Chief, it looks like you have something to say on that one.
Man, all right. The question is Donald Trump good for the Black community, right? Okay, I'm just going to break down some facts. I'm not going to go into any type of emotions or anything like that. I'm going to break down facts, right? To date, he's freed 20,000 people from jail for nonviolent drug offenses, 20,000 Black people from jail for nonviolent drug offenses. He appointed for the first time in history this position of pardon czar, which he pardoned a Black woman, made her the pardon czar, and she goes around and find cases for him to pardon.
Pardon me one second there, Kimani, because I think you didn't get the question. I think you might have been in transition when the question was read. So let me just read the question back for you. No problem.
That was a great answer, though.
The facts are great, but I do want to stick to making sure everybody's answering the same question, right?
Okay.
So as far as the impact on the Black family structure, did or does Donald Trump's policies strengthen or weaken the Black family stability and 2-parent households?
They absolutely, bro. When you letting a Black man out of jail, bro, that's in jail in the first place for trying to feed his family, he can go back to his family. That's absolute strengthening the Black family. When you put in place school of choice, to where families can take their kids out of ghetto schools, that's absolutely strengthening the Black family. So when you have a program in place that every child born under your presidency receives $1,000 to put into the stock market and invest for that child, that's absolutely strengthening Black families. When you have opportunity zones like my man spoke to earlier, that while I was in the West End with you, bro, I watched cats go from selling dope to selling sage. So yeah, it's absolutely strengthening the Black family. When you're against abortion, when your policies are anti-abortion, and we're the #1 abortionists on the planet, it absolutely strengthens the Black family. There is nothing
over 1 million child are aborted every year in America.
Thank you. So yeah, everything that he's doing strengthens the Black family. And my man earlier said that he hasn't done anything specifically for Black people. The HBCUs specifically for us. The opportunity zones was specific. You had to live in that area, and the money was given to a community leader, not the pastors and none of that. Somebody who was recognized as community leaders. So that's absolutely specifically for Black people. I contest that Donald Trump has done more for Black people than all other presidents before him combined.
That's a fact.
Okay, so with that being said, Miko Turtle, I'm gonna pick on Miko Turtle because I see that he has a strong opinion. So Miko, if you can chime in for us.
Yeah, so absolutely not. As far as Donald Trump being the best U.S. President for Black people, I want to state this first. Y'all know my stance. The U.S. is a colonial corporation that is here to destabilize, enslave, and destroy indigenous peoples all over the world, and particularly though dealing with Black people over here. So that's key to remember. But if we're going to state that a U.S. president is the best for black people, we shouldn't just be so like anxious to say Trump is, because he give you breadcrumbs with the opportunity zones is breadcrumbs. The US owes us way more, and we must enforce that they owe us way more. And as far as the PPP loans, how many black people got locked up on that shit? Trump should have had an immunity on black people not getting locked up on that shit. It's a lot of things. So as far as him being the best president, that's bullshit. You can at least give it to the guy that's on a copper penny, who at least try to do some Emancipation Proclamation shit. And the only reason I mention that is because his connection to Pascal Beverly Randolph, to be honest. Y'all have to look up and research who Pascal Beverly Randolph is and what he was trying to do with the Freedmen's Bureau for our people to get renationalized into our indigenous identity and position ourselves in a better position. That was really Pascal on that whole thing, orchestrating that. And what happened to Lincoln? He took a bullet to the head. Now Trump, with that fake shot at the ear, he know that if he really do something for black people, that shit ain't gonna miss his, it ain't gonna miss his head. He already know that shit. He's a coward. He's not gonna do it. And he has not done nothing noteworthy. Like, that would be crazy for us to apply him being the best. What's noteworthy that he's done for black people? He ain't put enforce the emancipation, that these people are free, that these people have been denationalized, and that we're going to enforce it, instead of police having sovereign immunity for colonize for them whooping black folks ass and doing anything to black folks. He could enforce the law.
Awesome. Yeah, that's very awesome, and I love the passion that I see coming. And I know, Crumb, you have something to say, but I'm gonna go to Chief first, and then I'm gonna go to Crumb next.
Bro, first of all, the president cannot police a city. The president only controls federal troops. He can't do nothing with city police. What he did do is pass the First Step Act that incentivized local police departments for not having allegations against them. So he incentivized them with more money if they didn't have allegations against them. That's the only thing he can do from a federal level. Now, the question is, it's not whether we like Trump or whether Trump could do more. The question is, has Trump's policies been good for black people? Whether you wish that they were more or not. Whether you wish that they were more or not. I watched drug dealers turn into business owners. You know what I'm saying? So how is it not? I watched 20,000 black men get out of jail and be able to go back home to their women and children. How are they not?
Okay, with that being said,
Larry Hoover being able to get out.
With that being said, let's go to Crumb. Crumb, I know you have something to add.
What the brothers are highlighting is a policy called "A rising tide raises all ships." If we do something good for America, then by virtue of black people living in America, they will be affected as well. That's the same shucking and jiving that I first talked about with benign neglect. We're not going to do anything exclusively to help you and your people. We'll do some stuff to help America. And by virtue of you being Americans, then you will be affected. A rising tide raises all ships. The only policy we've ever really had was from the man on a copper penny with those programs that were directly associated with black people. And as long as we say that, hey, we're gonna help you guys because we're gonna help Americans. So if we are going to be the recipients of, as my brother was saying, the crumbs that fall from the table, then sure, yeah, he is a great president for us because of the fact that we're Americans. But to deal with us as a particular constituent base, he's completely ostracized us. I yield.
Please.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Chief.
Man, listen, this is why I struggle in forums like this, right? Because my man and my other guy from the West End, we specifically set policies that affected only black people. But y'all keep saying that he hasn't. So letting out 20,000 black men for nonviolent drug offenses is strictly black folks, bro. Giving money to HB. So how is giving money strictly to HBCUs? How does that help when he's taking money from Stanford?
Did you tell him that? Did you tell him he was taking money too from the white colleges? Did you
Hey,
tell him that?
exactly. He's taking
You
money
tell
from
me
us
he
from
took
white
the
college.
money? He took
That,
it
that's a half
and he
truth.
gave it to black people.
So hold on, can I chime in real quick, guys?
Educated black people, actually. You know what I'm saying?
I
Can I
want
just mention one point? You know, because we live in different time zones. You know, because I grew up in a time zone we had the Huxtables on the television. You know, and they got a theory called the Huxtable, you know, theory, right? And this thing took place during the time of the Huxtables, right? When Bill Cosby was running things with the mind and controlling minds, letting people know that they could be educated, get a college degree, and become doctors. His wife was a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? We were educated black men and women too. They took that away because we in color. Sometimes we need to go black to black and white when we had to shine shoes and stand up on the corner block and we actually own businesses on the block, not just stand on the block. See, right now we just standing on the block in our own communities. But there was a time we actually had businesses called mom and pop businesses. We dealt with real business, not just entrepreneurship, but actual store corner blocks. They called them cornerstones. We had
That's
plenty of
awesome.
them in our community.
That's awesome, Russ, and you're absolutely right. But I
Yeah.
definitely want to stick to the topic and what we're
It's
trying to
just
get
want
to
to
the
get back
bottom
to
of.
that. We
Yeah,
got to
we
get back to that. We have to own thing. We have to have a ownership in our own communities again.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely right,
And that's a good thing
and
for
and
black people.
so what I want to do is I want to make sure that we are giving each other the freedom to express ourselves completely and listening to understand, right? I definitely want to ask a question though when we're talking about, and it's because that's going to move into our second question. But when we're talking about the people getting out of jail or prison reform or whatever that case might be, is that particularly specifically for black people? I mean, are we the only criminals in America?
The biggest, the most locked up in America, I can tell you that. And the most thing about it is they don't mention is most of our prisoners are political prisoners. We forget about that. The most of our intelligent, strong black men and women are locked down behind bars. We forget about that. The most strongest, the most intelligent, the most engineers are locked behind bars. We forget about that. Our political prisoners are all behind bars, dying. There's a man called Larry Hoover sitting there doing years for nothing. These rappers rapping about him like it's a dang game. This man is doing time behind bars for something he didn't even do. Just because he was an intelligent black man coming to unify his people. So I see anytime you get more black people out of jail, we come in strong as a nation of people again. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, brothers. Remember that. We're
So when
stronger,
Trump
more united than divided.
when Trump gave $1 million to the Black Panthers to fund their cause,
Ooh, let's
that
talk
wasn't
about that.
specifically for black people. When he gave Jesse Jackson $1 million for his campaign in '84, was that specifically for black people?
They don't
Like, what
mention
else
these
does he
things.
have to do?
That's not
These
presidential
are
policy,
facts,
brother.
though. What
What
about
else
the
does he have to
plane?
do?
What about his own private plane he drove
So hold on,
way
guys.
through South Africa to get and take Mandela back and forth to Africa? Was that
We're
not
talking.
helping black people?
Hold on, guys. We're talking about presidential policies, right? We're going to talk about his last 4 term,
Okay.
his previous
Okay.
term and this term,
Well,
and
that.
policies like real presidential policies, and how does it affect the black community? Because honestly, guys, the reason why I wanted to do this debate today is because it's a really, really divisive topic in our community, right? With half of us are thinking that, hey, this is actually good for our community, and the other half is saying completely the opposite, right? So we really need to put some good points across and come to some kind of an understanding here for our community as black leaders in our community, right or wrong.
I agree. And it's going to happen when the money starts flowing. You see, when the money starts flowing, you will hear nothing from these people no more. Absolutely nothing.
Let's go to the chief real quick, and then
It's just a worries. It's just
I'm going to go
worries.
to Chief. Let me go to Chief real quick, and then I'm going to go to Crumb. Then I'm going to Ross, and then Miko, and then we're going to go to the next question.
Who does illegal immigration affect the most? They in our community. They dab smack in our communities. So exporting a bunch of motherfucking illegals out of our communities, bro. People that have left prison, people that have left mental institutions right in our community, getting them people out of our community, that's directly for black people. Because we ain't gonna do
Black
it.
people was going homeless while they was coming in our community. You didn't see that?
Facts. They was kicking black people out of homeless shelters, putting them in the homeless shelters. They were giving them $15,000 in cash and $5,000 in EBT a month while black folks were struggling. So yeah, getting them out of the. I'd like to hear how somebody says having them in the community is good for the community. How is getting them not how is getting them out of our communities not a good thing? I want to hear something.
I would, if you want to hear something from me, I would say the illegal immigrants that's Trump in his bloodline. Yeah, they do need to get the hell up out of our country. Yeah, for sure.
Come on, bro.
You went total.
Come on, bro. That's
I went
not
to the
even.
truth. I went to the truth. He's a colonizer and a pilgrim. He's not
That's
indigenous
more
to this
feeling.
land.
That's more
Okay, but
emotional
That's not
feeling.
feelings. That's the truth. They put that in their
But
books. They
but
put
see,
that
one
in
thing I
their books,
realized
bro. They would
what
tell you they
happened here,
hit.
right?
So, bro, he still didn't hop the border to get over here out of a mental institution. He didn't hop the border to get over here, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Dre, I don't think your mic is connected. Does anybody hear Dre? I don't hear him.
It was just me. I'm on mute.
But Dre's not on mute, and I see his lips moving.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. One thing we cannot do is we cannot talk over each other. Please give each other, guys, the respect to finish their thought. And if you have to take notes, right? But let's please give each other the respect to finish their thoughts so we can actually hear each other, right?
You faded out again, Jay.
Okay. I'll just throw this out there while I think, because it looks like he stepped away from just a moment. But the thing where Trump released the people from prison, while granted it did have a residual positive effect for black people, but that was not exclusively for black people. One of my examples is going to be Rod Blagojevich, the guy who tried to sell Barack Obama's junior senator seat when Barack Obama became president. He was positively affected by that. And we know there is no way in heck that he's a black person. So these things that help Americans, and by virtue of us being Americans affecting us, absolutely, he has helped America. But in terms of black people, that's not true. In terms of the college thing, those colleges were violating Israelis. And because Donald Trump is our first and best Jewish president, and he's protecting Jewish people, he took that money because he wanted to penalize those institutions for not supporting Israel. That had nothing, black people were just bystanders, and we saw a boon because he was going against people who were reportedly pushing anti-Semitism. It was another thing you said, but it looks like Dre is back.
Yes, I am back. Can you hear me? Is my audio back?
Yeah, you could just turn it down just a tad bit.
All right, sorry about that. Okay, that should be better. Good. Okay. All right, sounds good. So, guys, one thing I got to say is I really appreciate the passion that you guys brought today, right? Let's 100% continue with going, but let's move into the second question. And honestly, you guys have already tapped into all of my questions, right? Little by little, you guys have all have already tapped into all of my questions. But I'm going to continue with the second question. So, as far as the impact on economics, right? The economic struggle in the Black community. Have Trump's economic policies like tax cuts, opportunity zones, trade deals, and deregulation, right? Has it reduced or exacerbated Black poverty, unemployment, wage gap, and the wealth inequity. And I'm gonna go with Crumb first.
I'm going to say that Donald Trump, under his watch with the COVID crash, he completely destroyed, I would say, and I'm just being reasonable, let's say 50% of black business, where he, under his watch with um, Anthony Fuckboy, I mean Fucci, where they sit and they did the social distancing and all of these things, all of the mom and pop shops, the small businesses, the entrepreneurs on the street, whatever the case may be, and this wasn't just black people, this was everybody at the bottom. During COVID, we saw where the wage gap grew to an astronomical figure that we never saw before. That may have contested with the 1919. I don't know if it was 1919 exactly, but during the stock market crashing, where the small guy got even smaller and the rich guy got even richer. So even though it didn't affect black people exclusively, it disproportionately affected black people who were operating on the lower levels of the business echelon. So under COVID, which was his first term, he really crushed a lot of black businesses, even though it was businesses across the board. Black people disproportionately felt that economic crush.
Kimani, I'm going to you.
Bro, COVID, bro, I hope, it's crazy because I don't even know where to start peeling back the onion on this thing. I hope we all know who Dr. Fauci worked for. I hope we both know what party was responsible for COVID. The entire time, Trump was against everything closing. We got to remember that we got to open our country back up. We got to keep our country open. That was the Democrats and what do you call it? The people out of Atlanta, the Center for Health Disease or whatever CDS or whatever CDA, whatever they are. They did that, bro. Trump wanted to keep the country open. Now, we just said that under the Trump administration, there was the highest number of millionaires and business owners. Why would he turn around and destroy that? And just because he took money from Stanford and Harvard because of whatever, they didn't like the Jews or whatever, that has nothing to do with the fact that he did give to black colleges. So they're independent of each other. And I'm trying to figure out how if I give you something, you can just say I didn't give it to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's not good for you. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out, we've made it clear that these things have been given by this president, but because of what he did on some other thing, or because of what he said, or because of some ulterior motive we might come up, we didn't get the money. You know what I'm saying? Or we didn't get this privilege. That's what I'm trying to figure out, because we've already established that he's done for black people and he's put money in black people's pockets. So
can I say one thing on that, Kimani? Because one of the things that is a big talking point in the black community for Donald Trump is the funding for the HBCUs, right? Okay. At the end of the day, though, who owns these HBCUs? Is it really us? And the narrative that these HBCUs are speaking on, is it really beneficial to us as a community as a whole? I'm going to let you answer that question for me, and then I'm going to take Miko and Crumb. You guys can figure out who's going to go next, please.
I think it's absolutely hilarious, because in one voice, him giving money to black educational institutions is garbage because the education is garbage. But as soon as he tries to get rid of the so-called Black History Museum because it's all false, Trump hates Trump hates black people, trying to get rid of Black History Museum. But at the same time, y'all saying the education is fake. It blows my mind, dude. And if you want another thing that he's doing to get rid of to help black people, getting rid of the nigger museum. Getting rid of the nigger museum that got people thinking that we was enslaved and we was cuffed and we danced for master and we get raped by the master and all that. Yeah, get rid of the Black History Museum. That's another thing he's done for black people.
Those so-called HBCUs are actually Jewish organizations, No question about it. Trump is not helping black people. Again, Trump is helping Jews. In addition to that, when those uh, schools get that funding, that's for that education, again, brought to you by Jews, in particular Robert Maxwell, the father-in-law of Jeffrey Epstein. This is a Jewish education brought to you by Jews with Jewish books and Jewish printed money. That has nothing to do with black people exclusively. In addition to that, HBCU is only black based off the name. White people go to HBCUs as well. This is not some exclusive black thing. So again, a rising tide raises all ships is the policy that Chief and Ross keep hiding behind. When we say that we're doing something for black people, what they're saying is we're doing something for Americans, and black people are also benefiting from this, which has nothing to do with exclusively helping black people, because you didn't do that with the gay people. You didn't do that with the Asians. You didn't do that with the Jews. You only play benign neglect with black people under the guise of minority, or we're going to help minorities, we're going to help Americans. That's not the conversation. The conversation is, what are you going to do for black people? Not these black face organizations, not these Black Lives Matter organizations with fat gay bull daggers. We're talking about black people exclusively. Just like we talked about gay people exclusively, just like we talked about protecting children exclusively. I yield.
And with that, let's go to Russ.
Give thanks. Yes, I love it. 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 Because again, I keep saying we got to go black, because wow. First of all, like I said earlier, I was mentioning about, I heard you speaking about the COVID thing. Yes, Trump was totally against the COVID thing. He called it the China virus. I don't know. You forgot that. It was the China virus, right? It wasn't even COVID then. It was the China virus. It became the COVID when Biden and all of them sat there with their knees bent down with their masks on and told people to run around with a mask on their face. That's when they got in full effect. When Trump was out of office, not when he was in office. Nobody was wearing masks then. Nobody was in a whole bunch of masks then. It was still cold. It was just coming in. That thing came in and because what it was really was, it was like rays. It was like rays they sent out, and they blast these people with these rays. So everybody got sick, and everybody got sick in that close to that Christmas time. Right around that Christmas time, everybody got sick because they sent out all them rays and it made everybody sick. And then we thought we was, they called it. They said you had they called it you was asymptomatic. That's what that was going on in that time. You was even I'll take it black for you. You forgot what went on. You forgot. I remember everything. I was right there, wide open while everybody was sleeping. Trust me. And what they did, they said you asymptomatic if you feel sick, but you're not sick. You got the symptoms of being sick, but you're not sick. So you don't even feel sick, my bad. You don't feel sick, but you got the symptoms of being sick. So you're asymptomatic. You're sick anyway. Because everybody got sick. Because it was like rays they shot out with them 5G rays. That's what they shot out at everybody. They turned that thing up, and that's what they doing. They turning these things up. They put chips in people. That was a whole program to put chips in people. The chip wasn't in yet when Trump was in there. Remember, the chip wasn't going in yet. The chip started coming in around January. Stay focused. The first person who went and got the chip, you know who it was? Your boy Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron went in like the 14th, like the 12th of January. So y'all better take the COVID shot. Don't think these people you're not wrong for us. Don't forget about Tuskegee and all that. Y'all get y'all COVID shot. He went in there on the 12th and took his first shot. It set in around the 17th. He took his second shot. Hank Aaron was dead around the 21st of January. Dead. Ain't talking nothing about Hank. Hank was out of there. That's when they start turning it up. Everybody start going in, getting their shots. You see people falling out, all kind of thing. This stuff start happening after Trump. He was nowhere in office. Let's stay focused on that. Now let's go black. Let's go a little further in the future.
All right, let's go. Wait, hold on. We got to switch gears. We got to switch gears because you just took up 3 minutes.
Focused, you got to say your facts, man. He had nothing to do with COVID. And the reality is, when Trump came in office, this term here, he stopped the madness with the homosexuality. He said there is only two genders. male and female. That was absolutely positive for the black man. The what we call is the alpha male coming back in power in this time. You know, because a bunch of
Fair enough.
madness going on. He came with a thing called common sense.
Fair enough. So let's go to Miko Turtle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, when dealing with the HBCUs, man, that's what I wanted to touch on.
I ain't gonna get
Colonizers.
there.
You said what?
He said
Can
he
you
didn't
hear me?
get there. He didn't. No. Yeah. Go ahead, Miko.
Oh, all right. So, yeah, the HBCUs are not forced. They were established. Like, just Spelman alone. Like, just look up all of these HBCUs, who established them. And like the brother Crumb said, I call them pilgrims that call themselves Jews because they not no chosen people. I don't play games with giving people false titles. When they know that they again are colonizers stealing everything that they have. So when you're dealing with giving to the black colleges, remember, it's religion, and right after that, education that has our peoples heavily enslaved, in particularly Christianity, and you dealing with the educational system. So it's interesting. Roz touched on something that is key to understand, but understand from a different perspective. He touched on the Huxtable age. All right, so Cosby is well known. He was Boule. And the Cosby Show was actually a detriment to our people. It was for our people to be well-obedient slaves within colonial structures. We do need education, but we need education coming from us. Knowledge of self, love of self, coming from us, not from their institutions that establish us as being really good slaves within their system, obedient slaves within their systems. So they will always wholeheartedly give to black educational systems. Easy. Keep you niggas slaves, easy. That's not doing nothing progressive for us, and they know that. I know from from my hometown how corrupt these black HBCUs are. They put corrupt Boule style type leaders in there on purpose to keep it in to keep the black community in line. Well, not truly educated on knowledge of self, love of self, who you are. And you see the effect from that. And just think of the effects from the Cosby. We living in the Cosby effect, the Huxtable effects. And salute the Cosby for later on standing up against these colonizers. But his Huxtable show, we really got to look at that on a deeper level. That was not progressive for us as a people. So that needs to be touched on. And of course, none of Trump policies are directly, he's saying directly affecting us economically on a progressive level. And we have to remember, Ross even put it, he even said it. He said most of our people are what? Political prisoners. Come on, salute to the god H. Rap Brown, Jamil El-Amin. He didn't let that brother out. He didn't let many of them out. Y'all talk about Jeff Fort. I mean, what's Larry Hoover? What
Larry
about
Hoover.
Jeff Fort, Chief Malik? What about all of the other great leaders that's still locked up behind them? Like, it's easy to let out. There's so many of us locked up in there. You let out. That's the whole point on them giving us breadcrumbs. We have had so little bit in this country that any president or official that gives you any little breadcrumbs, we like, oh, this is our savior now. That's a Jesus colonial concept. But again, Ross and Chief have shown no evidence of Trump really being for original people. Like his policies for original people uplifting themselves. No, and he has, again, that question on him being the best president, he has not even done what Abraham Lincoln done. And again, he's a coward to do that. You see what happened to Abraham Lincoln when he did that. He could, and
Right,
he could enforce real quick. He could enforce the same way he enforced. I'm gonna send the National Guard to the Chi-Town where most of our people was at, and they're the one who created that whole messed up scenario with our people there, shipping guns over there for our people, creating scenarios, locking up leaders, etc. over there for our people. He sent the National Guard. He can send a National Guard to every black town and say these people are. He can enforce that emancipation, but he's not gonna do that. He ain't nowhere near the greatest president. Nowhere near.
Turtle, I love the passion. I really appreciate it, but I got to go to the Chief. Chief, can you chime in for me? You're on mute.
I said, first of all, eggs, milk, and gas are all cheaper. So is he good for black people? I know black people that buy eggs, milk, and gas. So I would have to say yes. It's crazy because, right, my man, like we just keep, okay, when he said Blagojevich, right? He said that he got out under Trump's nonviolent act. No, he didn't. He got pardoned. Just like he pardoned everybody else, he got pardoned. Those people that got out of jail were 20,000 people of color. He made sure of it, bro. Yeah, we need to do our research. And how is sending a little girl her daddy back not good for our community? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing that this man could. Okay, so he gives money to HBCUs, where my wife is a graduate of and my daughter's a graduate of. He gives money to the HBCUs, and that's somehow bad. So if he takes money from HBCUs, is that somehow better for black people? My mind is blown off.
That's a straw man argument.
No, it's not a straw man argument. It's not a straw man argument. You said it was bad to give money to historically black universities and colleges, right? You said it was bad to give money to them. So is it good to take it from them? Everybody knows who owns these colleges and institutions. Everybody knows who owns every institution of higher learning. It's no secret. But that's where black people are going. So that's what I'm saying. Is it better if they take money from them? There's a certain demographic, there's a certain population, right? They call it Trump derangement syndrome. You can see this man doing good for your community, and you would have to find something negative to say about this man. Like, we literally listed, this man has brought back 140,000 missing children to this country. 104. You don't think some of them was black? Like, how is he not good for black people?
That's a straw man argument. Nobody said
it's not
that,
a straw man argument. It's not a straw man argument.
Let's go to Crump.
Nobody said him giving HBCUs is bad. What we said is him giving money What we're saying is him giving money to the HBCUs is not a black boon. That's what we're saying clearly.
Is it good for black people, though? Is it good for black people? Period. Right. Black people that go to HBCUs.
Yes. As an American is what you're referring to. A rising tide raises all ships is a benign
that has nothing policy. To do with white schools. That's specifically for black.
That's not. Those aren't black schools. It's just black by name and title only. White people go to those schools. Asians go to those schools. Arabs go to those schools. They're only black in name and title and nothing else. Anybody who wants to, a rising tide raises all ships is not a black policy. It's a benign neglect policy, which you keep hiding behind. And I'll say this and I'll yield. Trump claimed to this is for Ross. Trump told you under Operation Warp Speed that he's the father of the vaccine. I yield. For COVID-19.
Wow. You know, the deranged syndrome is true. You know, I see this thing real because I seen this thing happening from the time, you know, they forget what happened. You know, most people don't even remember November. You know what I'm saying? The man actually sat there and won the presidency, and things have gone back to a normal reality. Like, gas is really down. Like, this is a reality. Like, I can't even say what's going on. Like, you know, and the reality is setting to, like, I guess people can't accept, you know what I'm saying, the reality, but it's a good thing to accept, you know what I'm saying? Especially in this time when you get to see, like, what's actually happening. Check this out. The man actually said, look, I'm going to make sure during this time that I'm going to make sure you're making more money, right? You're making more money and you're able to work less hours and get the same money. Like, that's somebody actually thinking for families. Because I'm saying, like, so now he's saying now you can actually spend more time with your family, but you actually make the same money. Now, these people out here right now, and during this whole Biden time, when he was biting up all that economics, was literally working 60 hours a week, working overtime, and still getting taxed on their overtime, so they wouldn't even get money really on their overtime. They were just working regular hours just to get the same 60-hour check. And this man telling you, say, no, I'm gonna cut them hours instead of 40 to 20, but still give you the amount of 40 hours. A man could work 2 jobs and get paid twice as much. That's somebody actually think. But you know, I'm just going to yield because I just want you to see the reality of this deranged syndrome. Like you can't see the reality of good. See, a lot of people don't like to work. That's what I realized. You know what I'm saying? And the people who don't like to work ain't gonna be able to do what they gonna be able to do because people gonna say there's jobs out there. You go get a job. They hiring. They ain't been happening in a while. They ain't been hiring nowhere. But there's gonna be actually jobs out there. People get hired. They're gonna be actually working and living lives for themselves and having things again, which is a good thing. Because right now people ain't got nothing out here just complaining. But when people have things, they ain't got nothing to complain about. I know that. I yield.
I just want to point out real quick, those HBCUs were started as boarding schools to assimilate Native Americans into white culture. I yield.
Oh, can I go into a reality fact on that? Let me check fact that right quick, because I'm gonna show you how these HBUs start. You know what I'm saying? We hear the stories, but we won't know the full glory. What actually happened was these colleges you see was started in the churches, in the basement of churches. Black women was teaching children in the churches. Okay, that's where these schools started, in the churches. And when these churches was getting real popular and doing their thing, and these people were going on making their jobs and doing their thing, they wind up building the HBCU for the black people because we gonna wind up building it for ourselves anyway. You understand? That's the reality when it really started. We started. They started nothing for us. We was educating ourselves. Let's not forget the facts. I yield.
Okay, with that being said, Miko Turtle, would you like to respond? Otherwise, we're going to move to the next question.
No, you can move to the next question.
All right, sounds good. So, with next question, guys, talking about the impact on the next generation of Black youth and future leaders. Did or does Trump's educational policies, youth opportunity initiatives, and cultural message empower or hinder the development, aspirations, and leadership pipeline for young Black America?
Can you say that again, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Did or does Trump's educational policies, right? His educational policies, his youth opportunity initiatives, and culturing messages, does that empower or hinder the development, aspirations, and leadership pipeline for young Black America?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ross. We'll go to you.
Yes, most definitely. Especially when he took it out the LGBTQ positive, whatever they are, community out of the school system. That was the most best thing he could do. You know what I'm saying, for us and our children. You know, and I think that these things need to be celebrated. You know what I'm saying? That we got these other genders out of our school from around our children. You know what I'm saying? And to the fact that he's able to make people get paid for actually homeschooling your own children. This is the most amazing thing. Tax write-offs for these things, man. This is the most amazing. You know how much money it costs to raise a child in this country? Let's be for real. I'm a parent. You know what I'm saying? I got real responsibilities, you know. So in the reality, yes, most definitely. Because I don't want my children raised around no homosexuals. You understand? So I give thanks for this president, you know what I'm saying, coming through. A black man came in there and opened the floodgate for him. It took Trump, who is the one. He is Neo. That Negroes wake up. He's Neo. I'm actually Morpheus. You know the black woman, the Oracle. But it took the one to go against all these beasts to take them down. They better respect the one Trump, man. That man come here to do something real for black people. And we gotta accept what's real. Don't get caught into the illusion and the confusion. This thing is helping us in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? And the amazing thing is, it's gonna be good in the long run. All we gotta do is stay focused, come together, organize, and utilize this time wisely. We had those 4 years, we could have did much more. We got these 4 years once again. Let's not come through like this bickering thing. Let's come to the realizing the unity that we can be building our own community off this. That's what's really happening. You understand? In a nutshell of all, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm loving it. The youth
All right.
now is
Let's-
able now to get an education the right way. It's a good thing.
All right. Let's go to Miko on that.
Yeah. So again, it's dealing with the breadcrumbs. Our people ain't been given anything, so we accept like the breadcrumbs as like, yo, this is amazing. We're wealthy now with the little bit of breadcrumbs because we were starving in the first place, right? So he touched on again. I think both of them touched on the LGBT thing. All U.S. presidents are faggots. It's in Roman. That's their ancestral lines. It's in their heritage and history. That's their whole shit. Trump not being for the LGBT community is not for black people. It's their zero birth rate that colonizers are going through right now. That he like, hell nah, we got to put an end to certain things. That's not for black people. At all. The U.S. established eugenics and all other type of things for black people. They want black people to be either, like I said, imprisoned or destroyed. That's not specifically for us. That's for them and their lineage. And their lineage is going through hell right now with the with nature, the solar energy, taking them out, etc. And their degenerate genetic stock. So that is specific policy for them. And again, as far as the education system, they know that they have instituted education systems to miseducate us purposely. So the best thing, of course, our people can be doing right now is homeschooling, is teaching ourselves, not in the institutions. So again, that's just breadcrumbs that he's marveled over, and Trump will never be the one from the Matrix for us. We know Sophia Stewart wrote that, and Hollywood stole that story. And he will never be no one for us, no savior for us. That's the colonial Jesus complex that many of our people suffer from. But we don't suffer from that over here within the indigenous movement. Trump will never be no one for us. He is the one for him and his people and who he make policies for.
Okay, let's go to let's go to the chief. Let's go to the chief on that one. You're on mute, sir.
Man, listen, bro. At this point, the whole argument is circuitous. It's like we're chasing tails, right? There's nothing I can say. There's nothing my man could say. We literally just named. My man just said eugenics wants black people in jail. Trump let 20,000 of them out this year. How is that not? How is he not a good guy if the eugenics guy is a bad guy? If the Democrats and all of these people that parked abortion and vasectomy vans outside of their DNC rally, if that's their stance, killing black babies, and Trump's stance is let these black babies live, how is he not good for black people? And my only argument, my man on here, his only argument is, oh, a rising tide lifts all sails. That's got nothing to do with nothing. The question is not, is he good for black people only? It's, is he good for black people? And the answer is undoubtedly yes, because none of you can think of anything that he's done against black people, but yet me and my man just went through like 30 different things that he's done that has helped black people. And for somebody to put facts in your face and you still not see it, that, bro, y'all talking about, man, listen, come on, bro. I don't know what else to say. This man is giving black people and everybody else, if you don't like HBCUs, if you don't like the school system, then here's $10,000 to homeschool your child. How does that not? How my wife homeschools? How is that not good for black people?
All right, with that, let's let Crumb chime in.
What I'm clearly saying is that if he does something and there's a residual effect towards black people, then that can't be considered a black success. If I do something for man number one, I'm sorry. The saying is ish flows down. If I do something to hurt the CEO, the guy on the frontline associate is going to eventually feel it. So when I say that if I do something good for the CEO, the man on the front line is going to feel it as well. I give the CEO $10 trillion, facetious numbers. And the trickle down effect, this is Reaganomics. Reaganomics was trickle down effect. And we all know Reaganomics is trash. The trickle down effect is not good for Black people. That's what I mean when I say a rising tide raises all ships. If we do something good for the CEO, give him a golden parachute or whatever ridiculous kickback we can give him, then as Miko was saying, the guy at the very bottom, which typically the most disenfranchised people in America is going to be Black people, we're going to benefit from that. That doesn't equate to good policy. And the question that was posed initially is definitely, has he done anything exclusively for Black people? And the answer is most unequivocally, I can't even think of the word. It's absolutely a firm no. The other thing I wanted to bring, yes, Roz does bring up a good point. The whole thing with going against the LGBT and all of this goofy stuff is absolutely good. But these small micron accomplishments are going to be very short-lived. We know the gayest city in the world is Tel Aviv. We know that the strongest foreign lobbyist group is AIPAC. And we know that the Jews have crowned Donald Trump as King Cyrus. And with that said, the Jews who have 7 genders in their Talmud are bringing this homosexual agenda to America as the most prominent and influential minority in America. And Trump, who lit the menorah in the White House, is going to be full endorsing whatever his Jewish slave masters tell. I yield.
And I'm going to go to Kimani. Chief, I'm telling you.
No, I was just saying, man. He said the Jews are bringing the fag shit over here, and that's true. But they brought it with they used their faggot Democrats to usher that shit in. Everybody knows that they used Obama and then they used Biden. Trump came back against all the gay shit, against all the LGBTQ shit. He brought masculinity back to the White House, and that's really what it is, bro. That's really what it is. Honestly, this is a war. This is a war against masculinity. That's exactly what this is. That he's the first masculine president we've had in a long time. Like my man said, all the other presidents are fag. They are fags. They're all related, same bloodline. So dude is the only one they got in there. And I'm really at just like a loss for words, because my man keep on saying he hasn't done any. The question is he good or is he bad for Black America? And me and my man have already stated why he's good for Black America. Y'all haven't said one thing why he's bad for Black America. Not one thing. Not one thing. Y'all just riding on what we saying, bro. And y'all dissecting what we saying. Y'all not saying why he's bad. Oh, okay.
He's the father of vaccines. Vaccines are bad for Black people.
Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. Obama gave homosexuals a third of the alphabet. Terrible for Black people. Biden said we already got one nigger big shot, one nigger mayor. We don't need another nigger big shot running around DC, and gave the eulogy at the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan's funeral. Bad for Black people. And it made the 3 strikes law, which took out half our population. Biden did. Terrible for Black people. Y'all still haven't named one thing that Trump did is bad for Black people, and we sitting here naming all of these good things. And your excuse is since it helps other people, that it don't help Black people. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing, bro. Letting out 20,000 Black fathers help. Who else does that help? Who else does letting out 20,000 Black men? Who else does that benefit? What other community? And that's my thing, bro. Y'all can't, boom. You can't say one thing that the man has done. And that is a level of Trump derangement syndrome.
He brought vaccines to our community. Vaccines hurt us. He's the father of vaccines, and you keep weaseling your way around it. Deal with that part. Nope. He said you can get it if you should be able to get it if you want it. It was Biden who sent people to my mama's door, knocking on doors to get it. It was under the Biden administration that they was giving out free donuts in the West End. My man will tell you, free donuts in the West End of Atlanta. It was under the Biden administration that they gave out free lottery tickets. It was under the Biden administration that they tried to get cigarettes banned because people that were smoking cigarettes couldn't catch COVID because of the nicotine is a COVID killer. So come on, bro. Come on. Why did he say
even if he said he was the
vaccines then, please?
Even if he said he was the father of it.
He said that. That's on record. That's not an if.
Who pardoned Fauci? Who pardoned Fauci? Exactly. Who came after Fauci?
What do you mean
exactly.
if? He said that. He said
Bro,
That's
he
a
was
big
proud of the
fact.
deal, big
vaccines. That's
deal.
a
He didn't
fact.
tell you, but did he say get it? Did he make it mandatory to get it? No,
You,
it was Biden.
the
It was
point
Biden that
remains.
made it
You
mandatory.
said bring up something that didn't help that he brought. He brought you the vaccine. That's not good, and you can't ignore
He
that.
didn't make you get it, bro. If you got that, that's your problem, bro.
That's neither here nor there. He brought it to the front of the scene. You said he hasn't done anything. Name something. He
come
brought
on,
you
bro.
vaccines.
So he came
The
up
COVID.
with the vaccine, or did the government come up with the vaccine?
He said he's the father of it. He
It
owned it,
wasn't
and
even
he took
out
it
yet.
as the
because
face of it.
it came up under his administration, bro. He didn't get in the lab. I promise you, he didn't get in the lab, bro. That's not his
It
specialty.
was going out.
Okay, we're about to wrap this question up. Miko Turtle, do you have anything to say on this before we wrap up and move to the next?
Just one thing, Chief Kamani misquoted me because I stated that all U.S. presidents are faggot, including Trump. But the only difference in him is that they're at such a low state as far as birth rate, zero birth rate. They can't deny that they have to enforce no abortions and stuff. And again, that is like the breadcrumbs is going to hit our community, but it's not aimed for us at all.
Okay, so I mean, very interesting points, guys, and I really, again, the passion here, man, is unbelievable. The one thing that I can tell is happening though is that we are listening to each other, right? We definitely are able to at least hear what each other is saying, so we can come back with actual real points. All right, so last question. I'm going to move on to the last question of the thing before we all wrap up, and this question goes to Black entrepreneurship and business ownership, right? So have Trump's initiatives like the opportunity zones, the small business support and the tax reforms boosted or stalled Black owned businesses, to like for our community, period. Who wants to take it first? From
My apologies. Can you say that question one more time? It was a lot of words in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just want to make sure. I just want to know is his initiatives like the opportunity zones, the small business support and the tax reform, have they boosted or stalled the Black owned businesses?
Yeah, I would say they're good for Black people as Americans. Absolutely, sure.
Good business. Okay. What about you, Miko?
I would say again, no, because when we think of what he said and the initial of Trump being the best president for Black people, he will have to enforce like what Lincoln did. Like, all right, these people are free. They get an opportunity to create their businesses the way that they want to create their businesses, and we going to fund that. So for those of us that know we indigenous, they would have to put those type of policies out specifically for us and make sure that it specifically go to us to really build up our communities. I still would say it's like breadcrumbs, especially the reparations that Trump and all U.S. officials owe us as original people. So them policies is just breadcrumbs, that we happy for getting a little bit of breadcrumbs.
Ross?
Interesting. Definitely, I would say good for Black businesses, like I stated earlier, for the opportunity zones, because the opportunity zones was specifically set in Black communities, zones specifically in Black business areas. But the thing was, a lot of Black people was not really taking advantage fully of the opportunity, what I'm saying, that was presented before them. But the ones who did was able to prosper and become even successful and become even millionaires. Like I said, during that time, it was 177 millionaires, Black millionaires made here in Atlanta during that time of the building of the opportunity zones and the PPP loans, which was for businesses, for people to establish themselves, to go ahead and establish their own LLCs. And that is the way to really be free. You understand? To separate yourself from the government and have yourself as a corporation, which is a good thing. You understand? Because it's not doing nothing negative by having an actual business, you know what I'm saying, documented and protected where you can get tax write-offs for that benefited. I was amazed during the time of Trump's presidency when I got my tax returns and they told me that I paid them too much. Could you imagine such a thing?
Right, bro.
It's
I
a,
will say this: those opportunity zones do drive gentrification, and they are set for the people who already have some type of money. They're not particularly a boon for small Black businesses, mom and pop shops. I yield.
Go ahead,
Hey,
Kawan.
that's not okay. I didn't
hey,
want to. I wanted to
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead,
go ahead.
speak. Go ahead,
Go ahead, Kawan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, yeah, for opportunity zones, bro, that's incorrect. The opportunity zones, bro, when Trump gave that money out, he refused to give it to so-called community leaders, politicians type shit. It had to be members of the community that gave that money out, and you had to live
Correct.
in that community to receive that money. So it was not, it was actually to prevent gentrification. If you listen to the speech that he gave before the Black Republicans, he said, Black people built America, and it's about time we start getting that back.
Right.
Turtle, anything? Turtle.
Did you call on me or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he did.
All right. I mean, again, I can't say nothing but that is crumbs compared to the reparations that they owe us. So I don't see that. I'm not gonna see that as no dub. I'm not gonna see that as no win for us. And a lot of times it's situated for, you know how the Black communities is set up. It'd be like Boule style type leadership controlling. So it'd be funneled through those type of institutions. Not saying that the Ross and other brothers and sisters don't get some benefit from that, but overall, nah, I don't see that as no win at all. Nah, you got to come way better than that. Talking about best president, nah, man, we got to have higher standards for ourselves. And the discussion on the table should be more so liberation than even their colonial dollars, which ain't even real legal lawful tender in they institutions, man. Which you see is falling like crazy. And at any point they can, it's a devalued dollar anyway. So, I don't see what he's doing for us is beneficial at all. And he definitely not nowhere near close the greatest president for Black people. Opportunity
Okay,
zones is crumb zones. Yeah.
with that
Those
being said,
opportunity zones fail to address the urban divestment crisis. It's modern day redlining, where these people, the Jews particularly, who are living in these areas, are the ones that are going to gain the most through capital gains tax benefits and cuts, and they're going to be the ones to drive these luxury edifices and buildings and things like that. And it's not going to help us the way that he's painting that picture.
I've already seen it help us. It helped us. It helped us in his last term. I told you, I watched dudes go from selling dope to opening up corner stores selling sage and incense and stuff like that. So it has helped. And as it relates to my man, he keeps on saying that stuff is crumbs, right? First of all, saying that something is crumbs is subjective, because what's crumbs to you might be the whole cake to somebody else. So if somebody is starving, right? If somebody is dying of starvation and somebody throws you crumbs, bro, throws you some crumbs to get through, is that not a good thing? Because they have to
No,
give you nothing.
Reaganomics doesn't work. That's what he's talking about.
No,
Reaganomics.
back it up, bro, back it up. If you're starving and somebody gives you some crumbs that gets you through, is that a good or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing if the person that give you the crumbs then stole the whole bread loaf from you, and all it is throwing crumbs at you. So yes, it's a bad thing.
So you just rather die. You'd rather die than have the crumbs then. You'd rather die than eat crumbs to stay alive. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's
Okay,
not in my
then. So
spirit.
the
I'm a
crumbs
warrior. I'm
aren't
gonna take
good.
that damn bread back from whoever
So
took the bread.
Reaganomics don't work. I don't know why you guys are so in love with Ronald Reagan and his
does work.
economic
It
policies.
does work.
Reaganomics works on a small scale. That's what he means when he says crumbs, on a small, minuscule scale for black people and a huge scale for the upper echelon. Reaganomics, what you're referring to, is trash and it's
No,
racist.
no, it's not. It's not racist, bro. How is it racist when Trump made
Came
more
racist.
millionaires? If he made more millionaires than any other president combined, he made more black millionaires than any other president combined. How is
That
it
has nothing to
racist,
do
bro?
with the
How
Reaganomics
is
policy that
it
you're pushing
racist?
right now. Deal with the Reaganomics policy that you're pushing,
Man, go
where you're
ahead, bro. Ain't nobody
where
talking
you're
about no
Reagan
Reagan.
dead.
where you're purporting to trickle down economics. Hey,
No.
we're going to make the fat cats even fatter, and if they get
How?
fatter, then
How is he doing that? By bringing he killed NAFTA. He's bringing jobs back here. So how is he making the fat cats fatter, bro? You all over the place. He killed NAFTA. So how is he making the fat cats fatter? If he's telling companies, if you don't leave Mexico, China, Thailand, and come back here and build your companies here, then you can't even come in here and you can't even sell nothing up out of here. You can't even call it an American product. We're gonna tariff it to death. How is he a vulture capitalist?
because the opportunity zones fail to address urban disinvestment disinvestment crisis. It helps the people at the top disproportionately more than the people at the bottom, and that's Reaganomics trickle down effect.
What
Policy
opportunity
that
zone
Donald
were you
Trump
near?
is.
What opportunity zone were you near? Because I was in the West End for all the good opportunity zones years. Palmetto was in the West End, and I know my man was in the West End during all the good opportunity zones years. So what opportunity zones were you at where they didn't improve, where you saw what you saw? Because I saw black people
Anecdotal
buying
evidence
their
is not
land.
evidence. Anecdotal evidence is not evidence. Just because you and everybody you know ate last night doesn't negate
What opportunity zone were you near? What opportunity zone were you near?
Anecdotal evidence is not evidence. Just because you and everybody you know ate last night doesn't negate negate global starvation.
Okay, well, I can say the black people that I saw were uplifted
That's
by
in
the
your little
opportunity
bubble.
zone. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And your little bubble
Anecdotal
too. And
evidence
in
is
your little
not
bubble, you
evidence.
didn't see
Just
it.
because you and everybody you know ate last night doesn't negate that there are people over in Gaza
It was good for
starving.
black people. So it was good for black people. My point is, it was good for black people. Period.
Ross,
Period.
what would you like to say on the subject?
Man,
Opportunity
it's a
zones.
hot topic, man. I love it, man. It's good, man, because me and my brethren, we really actually agree fully. It's like we're saying the same exact thing over and over. It's like it's so much things has been done and we see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where y'all at. Y'all ain't really seeing it. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is the streets was literally suffering for the last few years. You understand? Like people became homeless. People like literally was taken out their homes, and there was other immigrants from other places literally living in their places, like places like New York City, right? During the Biden time, there were like a whole section of New York was like people would have to get evicted from there, and guess what they did? They made a whole community for the LGBTQ community. They said if you are a man and you want to get transferred into a woman, you can come here, live here, we'll pay your rent free. We get you full transformed up into a woman and everything and health benefits, and we'll even feed you. They were doing that for them. Then they were giving $5,000 food stamps to immigrants per month. You understand? This thing was going on so rapid, and people were starving on the streets. Even Chicago itself, the people is screaming, Donald Trump, we come save us, because they see what these people were doing in their community, and that's a straight blue place. You understand? Where they ran by the Democrats. But they wind up realizing that these people are moving in these Venezuelan people, they gangs, they taking over our community, and they're not us. They raping, doing all kind of things. Nobody's stopping it. They trying to downplay these things in the reality of real time. Now these things are being moved out. Drugs is going down. With crime is actually going down. Look, it's more police now on the streets than ever. It's hot out there, you know. If you're doing any drugs, be careful, you know, you'll get caught up, you know. Even the streets itself realize and say, they look, we done with the streets. They saying F the streets because the streets is done. It's so much reality setting in place in a quick time. You know, understand? Like, but it's good. It's a good thing because we getting back to common sense. You understand? And common sense is that everybody should have their own and worry about their own and take care of their own. That's the reality. And it's a good thing, not just for black, for white, it's for everybody. Everybody deserves to have their own and be able to take care of their own, simply. So when a president came in now and saying he's going to make this possible, not just for black people, but for all people in this country, I can only see it as a good thing because I see what we've been going through on the streets. The mortgage, the rent's been extremely high, almost unaffordable for anyone existing on the planet to have to be constantly paying these bills. Then on top of that, the electricity bill was extremely high. The gas bill was everything was extremely high, unaffordable. You go to the store, they were saying, today's price ain't yesterday's price. That started under the Biden administration. And it kept going up and kept going up to where you know where it was going to be. Now, in reality, now the man is actually bringing things down, and people are still complaining like they don't realize where we at. We're in a good space. We're in a good place. Stay focused. Don't get caught up in the hocus pocus. You understand? Because these people, the media, they create all this diversion. You understand? And the play is really simple. The play is really simple. Don't get diverted. Because all they do is one thing in the play. They create a problem and they give you a solution. You understand? And you don't see it yet. Don't let them create a problem for you. You don't need their solutions. Okay? The reality is look around you. See the benefits of what you can really benefit in this time. Under the Donald Trump administration, go back to 2016 and check your records. See where your pockets was at. Okay? And then when you get up to 2020 and go up from there and see where your money started declining. Because that's the reality of what really went on. You understand? And now you can see what things starting to actually build again. Finally, unless you went out there and spent all your wasteful money on Christmas. You understand? If you caught up in that foolishness, you probably broke right now. But everybody who didn't go out there and spend on Christmas is holding on something right now. Because they said Christmas took at least about 11 to 1,200. You understand, out of everybody's pocket who supported it. They over $1 trillion of black dollars being spent on Christmas already. Done. We wasted that. But more money about to come in the new year. And what it do, what we going to do with it? That's the reality of what I'm saying. Under the Donald Trump administration, we're able to make more money, not less money. I think it's a good thing. Let me state to the facts of that. You can work 20 hours and paid a full day of work. That is a good thing. You say you can spend more time with your family. I would love that. To get paid the most money I was getting paid for full time, doing halftime. That's a beautiful thing. That's the reality. So, and on top of that, you're getting paid tax, no tax on tips.
All right, Russ.
You understand? So the reality is that all this stuff is good. It's not bad.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Again, the passion that you guys brought with today is just unbelievable, man. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. I want to move to final thoughts, right? And in your closing thoughts, I want you to wrap it up and tell us why, right? Why is Donald Trump good or not good for the black community? I'm going to start with the chief. Then we're going to move to Miko Turtle. We're going to go to Ross, and then we're going to go to Crumb, and then I'll wrap it up.
Well, I gotta go first, man. I bet whoever got picked last, I bet they're happy as hell. First of all, man, I'll start by saying I can appreciate this debate with everybody on here, even though we don't see eye to eye on stuff. I appreciate a healthy debate. And I'll end because I feel like I touched on everything, or my man touched on everything. So I'll just end with this, man. There are two different kinds of black people, right? You have your conservative black people and you have your liberal black people, right? If you are a conservative, meaning you believe that a man should be in a house, you don't believe that there's 15 different sexes, you believe that a woman should dress a certain way and a man should be masculine and that sort of thing. If you're a conservative and you don't believe in abortions and all of this stuff, then Donald Trump is doing his thing for you. If you're a liberal and anything goes, and you know, you willing to call motherfuckers by their pronouns and all of that crazy shit. You don't mind, you know, migrants shit coming into your neighborhoods and all of that, and influx of the first thing you say is when 40 million illegals come into this country from Hezbollah, Hamas, Tamil Tigers, the FARC, any terrorist organization you can name. If the first thing that you can say is what about Trump's ancestors, then we're two different kinds of we got two different kinds of things that we really care about. So I think this age-old debate will remain age-old as long as there are conservative, principled Black people and liberal-minded Black people. So that's it.
All right. Thank you so much for that. With that, we're gonna go next to Miko.
Yeah, appreciate this discussion with everybody. It was definitely a great build. I just want the people to understand that we have power right now, man. The power is with us. Trump will never be good for original people in whole. Yes, some will get some crumbs, absolutely. And of course, with anybody who's in colonial presidential seat, we should be establishing ourselves economically, on educational wise, etc., on the highest of heights, regardless of what they're doing. But understand that this is a colonial institution, the United States. Anybody they put in that seat will be not for you, period. And where it may seem like Trump is for you is because of the time frame that he's in. The U.S. is totally under collapse. It will be no more. Trust me. And our people are on the rise. When I say our people, I mean indigenous peoples here in the Americas, known as Black people. We understanding who we are, and we stepping up to the plate on building our own. Them giving us crumbs, especially within their U.S. dollar, which again has no true value. Now, they will tell you that in their system. And as far as me bringing up Trump foreign lineage, he's a pilgrim, he's a colonizer. This is what they put in their own books. Why am I wrong for even mentioning that? Hey, you're a immigrant, you're a colonizer. What are you doing telling either my Haitian brothers or my Somalian brothers or whoever my brothers is that they gotta go? You need to go and your people need to go. Y'all always started confusion. So we got to remember who created the confusion, and then they're creating fake solutions at empowerment zones. Let me give you Negroes crumbs. And HBCUs where we establish artificial institutions for you to be miseducated in the first place. So we must always remember who we are as a people and who they are as a people, and they will and we will flourish as original people. And everything that we need done, we can do ourselves. That's what we doing over here in Atlantis Indigenous Empire. Absolutely. We established our own indigenous societies. So for all of my brothers and sisters that's interested in that, man, let's link up or do it with you and your family. I listen to Atlantis Indigenous Radio. I put out a blueprint on how you should be creating indigenous family trust if you do not have that. From that foundation, that's your clan. You link up with other brothers and sisters with like mine. And Kamani is right. Like it's two different types of Black people. It's Black people that want the colonial institutions and the hell that shit bring, that sinking Titanic ship. We not gonna be up on that, but we not up on there. We hell nah. We don't want no parts of that. We want to build our own, and we're going to build our own. We're not waiting for them to give us reparations, even though we know that they owe us reparations. It's self-administered reparations. That's what I want my people to fully understand. Y'all know that's what I'm coming with. I'm not coming with nothing different. I stand in solidarity with all of my people all over the world. All over the world. I ain't set tripping on what you call yourself. That's irrelevant. And we not for colonizers wherever they at. So that's gonna be important. For brothers who do have trades, man, link up with us. We looking at establishing our own trade union. So, hit me up on the Instagram DMT, the Big Headed Alchemist, as well as especially TooRawForTV.tv, man. Everybody should be subscribed, man. Y'all see what we trying to build? Our own media platform, man. We need that. We super need that. What it was, Trump putting out fake news. Hey, we ain't got to worry about fake news if we have our own medias, because he the one who put out fake news himself. Yeah, it's gonna come out when them Epstein files get exposed with his lying ass. So none of them is good for us. The crumbs that they give, remember, it's just crumbs. They owe you reparations. This is your country. This is your land. This is you. Do you have Stockholm syndrome? Did you forget that? Did you get beat over the head too much that you forgot that? Yes, you did. That's why you accept his crumbs as, a man, this is great for us. No, it's not. Now you gotta come way better than that, and you can't even close to say that you the best president, and you ain't even done close to what Lincoln done. Lincoln got his head knocked off, bro, and he was dealing with, again, Pascal Beverly Randolph. Look into the brother he dealt with alchemy. So for our people, just understand we got the solution right now. And yeah, utilize, tweak this system however you can tweak it. Of course, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be intelligent enough to know, hey, you got a business. He tweak it however you can tweak it, but he's not for you. Understand that. That homosexual shit, he's down with the colonizers that call themselves Jews. He just like, shit, it's zero birth rate. He got to do something. And that ain't for y'all, because we ain't at zero birth rate. Our people is not at zero birth rate, even though we at the lowest health rate that we ever been, just because we follow their lifestyle. But understand we got the power right now, and the times is shifting. Y'all see we on TrueOfferTV.tv, and these indigenous platforms, black platforms, where we have our own, gonna be multiplied at this time. We not accepting the colonizer and they bullshit ass media stations. No, we creating our own. So salute to the fam. And definitely check me out, Atlantis Indigenous Radio, every Thursday 9 p.m. TrueOfferTV.tv. Salute to everybody for participating and doing their thing. Be wise, more love.
Yes, give thanks. Yeah, man. Peace and blessings. All checking in, man. Give thanks. It was a great conversation, but I just like to stay full on the facts. Like, let's stay full on the facts. Like, first off, we know, say, the system is a fraud. It never was forced anyway. You know. Yeah, I'm never into any houses. I was always in the field. There's real field Negroes. We know that the system was never really forced. That was a house nigger syndrome. And who created the house nigger syndrome to me was Obama. When Obama became president, black people cried, tears. They raised this black man up so high and he wasn't even black. Come to find out he wasn't even really fully a man. Come to find out his woman wasn't even fully a woman. Come to find out his children weren't even fully his. He never even had a child. And he was a real father. Where's his children at? Why you don't see his children? And by that, why you always see Obama? Where Obama family at? You didn't see where the children at? Where Michelle running around? With Michael running? Where the children at? You don't see that. Nobody talking about that. Talking about Epstein and all these people. Obama and the Obamas is always up in the Epstein files. All them people up in there. The Democrats been in the Epstein files. You understand? Trump was a man never in Epstein files because he didn't get along with Epstein. This is already a reality, a fact checked. You understand? They already had things against each other from way back when. So this is a reality fact check. Now getting into the fact that us as black people getting reparations, I feel that's a great topic. But we got to even want it. But guess what? We got to want it for ourselves. We can't just talk about it. We can actually make it a reality. You understand? But you got to come out of your indigenous shit. You got to be a slave again. Yeah, you're going to have to use that government name to get that check. You understand? Because you ain't got that government name, Mr. Slave Master name at your last name, you ain't going to get that check. But that check is yours. You can have it. But you got to know who you are to get it. You understand? And this is the reality of it all, bro. The reality of it all, if we really had a real sense of thinking for ourselves, we can actually come together and talk to this man and get reparations cut and signed. If we stood together for ourselves, we ain't rallying for that. You understand? But the reality is we can do this if we want to do it. We don't want to do it. We talk about it. Reality is we had to unify to do it. You understand? It's been done before. I seen some of my family already got a part of the reparations check. But guess what it took? It took lawyers. It took people standing up in legal positions who knows the law, which we already know. but we fighting for the wrong things. When we unify for the right things, it's already on the table. But are we representing what's on that table? You understand? So again, I ain't here to play with it. My people been through it. I'm still here to represent what we've been through. I came off them slave ships. A lot of people forgot. I ain't forget. My family came through on them chains, throwed up on one another and had to survive. And I know not one of my true family ancestors said, you know what, you better get comfortable in this land we're gonna send you to and never return where you come from. Nah, I ain't come from that breed. I ain't come from that breed. I came from a different breed who actually know, who can actually remember, you know. So with my remembrance, I even remember Lincoln as being a black man. You understand? With my remembrance. That's why I know he on a carp a penny with my remembrance. With my remembrance, I also knew who the next man who was called John Henry. All right, John Henson, who was the first black president. You understand, sitting in the seats. I also know who Kennedy was and what Kennedy stand for. Who Kennedy had riding with him when he was crowned Emperor, His Imperial Majesty. You see Kennedy? He in the same seat he got shot in 17 days later after this exactly shot. That's His Imperial Majesty when he came to visit the United States of America. So this is the reality of what we've been through as a people. Now, Kennedy was a man who was working with Haile Selassie to actually grant black people rights to actually be free, who was working on our true sovereignty, which is sovereignty of being an Ethiopian, because that's not just only our nationality, that's actually us as our race of people. We are Ethiopians from the color of our skin and from the curliness of our hair. His Imperial Majesty came to make that a formal reality for us. He is the first one who abolished slavery. Slavery was still in existence until His Imperial Majesty became king in 1930. In 1931, he signed on the paper in the first written constitution in Ethiopia that slavery was to be abolished. After that, United States and all these other countries started to abolish slavery. Not before, after. So these are the facts and true history that we have that we don't even know about because we forgot. We don't remember our true history. We caught up in their story. They call it his story. But what about our story? Our story goes deeper than just Martin Luther King. You understand? Martin Luther King also was an intelligent black man who went to college at 16 years old. He wasn't running around here with his pants sagging and didn't know who he was and didn't know anything. He was
Let's wrap it up,
educated
Russ.
not only in the scriptures, but he was educated in the books. Black men was educated. We forget that. Black men also had skills. We forget that. Black men also were carpenters. The best things that when you see on this planet we built, but we had the skills to build it. Okay, so my point is saying that don't leave out education. Okay, because we fought hard for education. It's a good thing for us to be educated. We don't have to use our education for them. We use our education for ourselves. Right now, me and my brethren, we can go home and sit on the toilet, right? And create the most greatest thing that ever been invented to put on this planet right now, just by sitting on the toilet and burning a spliff. Because the black man can think, he can create. So when you have time to think and create, you will become greater. And that's the time we're in right now, to actually be able to think and create. It's a good thing for us. Let's celebrate. You understand? Let's celebrate. Let's not look down and walk at this thing as a hatred vibe. This thing will wind up being good for all of us, but not bad for us. It was already worse. I couldn't see it getting no worse. I yield.
On you, Brother Crumb.
I first want to give high honors and perfect praise to all of the panelists and the hosts. Thank you so much for having me. I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm grateful. It means everything to come and reason with my brothers and to have a positive intellectual conversation where we agree or we agree to disagree and we can still walk away in peace. It means everything to me, and I'm just enamored to be a part of this new movement where we come together like this. Ultimately, I will say that based off this discussion, hindsight is 2020. Reaganomics, it is a fact, it has not been good for Black people. Reaganomics has widened the wealth gap. It has widened the racial disparity amongst Black people in terms of economics. Also, benign neglect. Benign neglect, this is a fact. It has not worked in Black people's benefit, where the status quo of laissez-faire, we're going to let it all work itself out and we're not going to create any policy, is racially an injustice to Black people, especially when you don't give the LGBT community laissez-faire, you don't give the Asians laissez-faire, you don't give the Jews laissez-faire. But when you do that to us and apply Reaganomics, we've already done that in the 60s. We already did it in the 70s. These are things that are at least 40 years old. These policies aren't new. These policies aren't groundbreaking, but I don't want to hone in on what the arguments were. Ultimately, Donald Trump hasn't done anything for Black people. He did campaign when running against Hillary Clinton that he would implement a policy for Black people called the Platinum Plan, which I thought was a little bit cheeky. Why platinum? Is that like some rapper thing? I don't know, but hey, whatever. So he said within this platinum plan that what he would do is create several different programs. I'm sorry, it wasn't with Hillary. He won that one. It was the one where he lost to Joe Biden. Where he said, if you vote for me over Joke, then I'm going to implement the platinum plan or policy, which obviously he didn't win that, or allegedly he didn't win, but that was as close as we got to anybody creating any policy that would challenge benign neglect, would challenge laissez-faire, and would equalize us as a voting bloc and a constituent base. Ultimately, you can find me on Crumb TV. I'm sorry, excuse me, 2RofferTV.tv. And I'm your humble brother Crumb. And I want to thank everybody for hearing me out. I yield.
Yes, indeed.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I really want to thank the panel. You guys are really awesome, right?
Sure.
Strong, unapologetically Black figures in our communities. And one thing, the one thing that everyone here has in common is that we want the best for our Black community. That's one thing I can say everybody on this panel wants, right? So regardless of any kind of little disagreements that you might see, you saw all of the passion because all of these panelists want the best for our community, including myself. I learned a lot here today. I was able to sit and really engage and listen, and both sides had very, very strong arguments, right? I'm not leaning either way. What I will close with is, as it was mentioned by, I think, everyone on the panel, we are in a powerful time. And what we have is because of what we create, right? There are things like opportunity zones, and it's in the name. To opportunity. It's only that. So if you're not a type of person to take advantage of opportunities, you're not going to see that as an actual opportunity, right? But if you are the type of person to grab those and, capitalize, hey, it's for you, right? These conversations will and have to continue simply because of the learning that comes out of it. The fact that we can sit here, have disagreements, and like Crumb said, agree to disagree is paramount. It's literally paramount. With that being said, guys, we are making waves here at 2Roffer TV. We are going to be doing these debates on a regular basis. We're going to take the most controversial topics, bring them, dissect them, and try to get some clear thought out of it, right? Is Trump good or bad for Black America? It doesn't matter because we got Black men that are good for Black America, as you can see on this panel. With that being said, y'all, have a great one.
Yeah, man. Big up Trump.